The man she thought was her secret lover slowly removed the mask. It was her husband.
Amy was the girl everyone noticed on campus. Beautiful, stylish, and full of energy. Her laughter could travel across the quad, and her confidence made her stand out in every lecture hall. Some classmates called her the Queen of Campus, not because she was arrogant, but because she carried herself with a kind of effortless charm. David, on the other hand, was known for his intelligence and quiet charisma. Handsome in a clean, understated way. He wasn't the loudest at parties, but professors respected him, and his classmates often went to him for help. Their paths first crossed at the university library one chilly afternoon. Amy had rushed in, searching for a textbook just days before a big exam, but the only available copy was already on the table in front of David. "Excuse me," she said, a little breathless. "Are you using that? I really need that book for tomorrow's test." He looked up, his hazel eyes calm and kind. Then he slid the book toward her with a small smile. "You can take it. I've already copied what I need." That simple gesture surprised her. She was used to guys trying to impress her with smooth lines or flashy gestures, but he seemed different, steady, thoughtful. The next morning, she spotted him again at the campus coffee shop. This time, she walked up to him. "You never told me your name yesterday, Mr. Gentleman," she teased. "David," he said, grinning. "And you?" "Amy," she replied. From that moment, they became inseparable. At first, it was just study buddies, sharing notes, quizzing each other before exams, late-night study sessions fueled by pizza and energy drinks. But slowly, friendship turned into something deeper. He admired her boldness, her spark, the way she lit up any room she walked into. She admired his calm confidence, the way he always listened, and how he treated her like an equal, not just another pretty face on campus. By sophomore year, everyone knew them. They were the couple holding hands across the lawn, sneaking kisses in the student union, cheering each other on at events. Friends joked that theirs was a Netflix-worthy love story. Their first real date happened at a fraternity party. While the music boomed and people danced wildly, they slipped out to the balcony. Under the string lights and cool night air, they talked for hours, as though the rest of the world had disappeared. That night, he held her hand for the first time, and she didn't let go. By senior year, their love was legendary. Professors smiled when they saw them together. Friends whispered, "That's what real love looks like." They began to dream about life after graduation. They talked about traveling the world, maybe living in New York or Los Angeles, starting a business together. They agreed that kids could wait. First, they wanted to enjoy life. When graduation day finally came, everyone knew this love story wouldn't end with a handshake and a diploma. It was only a matter of time before David got down on one knee. And he did. In front of friends and family at a summer barbecue, with his heart racing and a ring in his hand, he asked her to marry him. She said yes. They thought their love was unshakable, but marriage, they would soon learn, is not a fairy tale.
But there was one problem. She was the kind of woman whose desires never stayed in one place. Today she wanted money, tomorrow she wanted power, the next day she craved adventure. And he, blinded by love, thought he could handle it all. Then came marriage. At first, things seemed fine, but slowly her restless spirit began to show. She grew bored easily. What once excited her no longer did. He poured out money, energy, and effort to please her ever-changing wants, wasting what they could have used to build a future together. They had no children yet. They had agreed to enjoy life first. But now she wanted something new, something dangerous. She began to wonder what life would be like with another man. Maybe more fun, maybe more happiness. She started going out with her old friends, the carefree ones who never settled down. Soon, late nights, parties, and drunken returns became common. Her husband tried to talk to her. Arguments followed. She no longer cared how much it hurt him. In her mind, marriage was about her happiness alone. One night, he overheard her on the phone. She was describing her dream man, her fantasy. And worse, she mentioned her dating site account. That was the night something broke inside him. But instead of exploding in anger, he decided to test her, to confront her in a way she would never expect. When Amy first started chatting with the man on the dating site, it felt exciting, dangerous even. His profile was exactly what she had imagined: adventurous, witty, confident, the kind of man who seemed like he'd never let her feel bored. They agreed to meet in person, and when she finally saw him for the first time, she was intrigued. He had a rugged look, always wearing a cap pulled low, a trimmed beard that wasn't quite like David's, and most importantly, a strong, realistic silicone mask that made him unrecognizable. She thought she had found her perfect fling.
Their first date was at a rooftop bar downtown. He listened, made her laugh, and ordered her favorite drink, something she never told him, but he already knew. She thought it was fate. He called her gorgeous, touched her hand, and when they kissed, it sent a rush of guilt and excitement through her. Meanwhile, David, the real man behind the mask, was burning inside. Every laugh, every kiss cut deep, but he wanted to see how far she would go. The adventures began. Some nights they drove out of the city for late dinners in hidden spots. Other nights they rented hotel suites with champagne and music, where she would lose herself in passion with her mystery man. She confided in him about her marriage, never knowing she was speaking to her husband himself. She said, "He's good to me, but I feel stuck. I need more. I need someone exciting." Each word pierced him like a knife, but he kept his composure, nodding, playing the role. At home, David acted like nothing was wrong. He mastered the art of timing, leaving earlier than her under the pretense of work or gym sessions, switching disguises in his car, and arriving at their meeting spots before she even got there. When their nights ended, he would sometimes rush back home, remove the mask, shower quickly, and slide into bed just before she arrived. Other times, he would already be there pretending to be asleep, while she quietly slipped in beside him, her heart heavy with guilt. There were moments when her phone would buzz while they were together, and it would be David calling. He would sit back in silence as she lied into the phone, "I'm just out with the girls. Don't wait up for me." The irony made him clench his jaw, but he let it slide. As weeks passed, their escapades grew wilder. They went to jazz clubs where she danced freely in his arms. They took long drives along the coast with the wind in her hair and her laughter ringing out, laughter David hadn't heard in months. And yet, he noticed something. No matter how much fun she had, guilt always followed. Sometimes after a night out, she would sit quietly in the car, staring out the window, her smile fading. At home, she would crawl into bed beside David, touch his shoulder lightly, and whisper, "I love you," as if to convince herself. David never exposed himself. His disguise was flawless, the mask molded perfectly, his voice slightly altered with a husky tone, his clothes different from what he wore at home. He even used a separate phone for their communications, making sure nothing connected back to him. Her husband became two men, the quiet, patient David at home, and the daring, adventurous stranger she thought she had stolen outside her marriage. But what she didn't know was that the two men were one and the same, and the double life couldn't last forever. Still, part of him began to enjoy it, because outside he saw the version of her that had been lost inside their marriage.
This went on for weeks, until one night in a hotel suite, her guilt became too heavy to carry. She broke down in the bathroom, staring at her reflection in tears. At that moment, her husband, still disguised, called her cell phone. She answered, lying about where she was. Then his voice, soft and calm, came through the phone. "No matter what happens, I will always love you." She froze. Her heart sank. How could she betray such a love? She returned to the room, still in tears. Looking at her lover, she said, "I can't do this anymore. I have a husband who loves me deeply, and I love him too. How did I allow myself to fall into this mess?" She begged him to take her home, but he leaned forward and whispered, "You're already home." Confused, she tried to pull away. He reached for her, and in panic, she kicked him, running for the door. Then she heard it, his real voice. She turned around, stunned. The man she thought was her secret lover slowly removed the mask. It was her husband.
Her legs weakened. She dropped to her knees in tears. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me." He looked at her, his own eyes wet with pain. "I wanted to see how far you would go. I wanted to know the truth. But in the end, I still love you." That night, they embraced, broken but not destroyed. The road ahead would not be easy, but they chose to fight for their marriage. They began therapy, learned to communicate, and slowly rebuilt what had been lost. Because sometimes love is not about chasing endless excitement. It's about holding on to each other, even when the thrill fades. Dear viewers, marriage isn't about chasing fantasies. It's about building trust, commitment, and choosing love again and again, even when it's hard.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting and dramatic stories. Tell us in the comments where in the world you're watching from. Until next time, stay blessed and keep watching. Ugo's True Tales, where every story leaves a mark.